Good evening. It is Sunday night, August 8th already, 2021. Welcome in, guys. Sunday night is Creator Talk Live here on my channel. I'm glad you guys are here. I'm excited to talk about a few things tonight here on Creator Talk Live. If you're new here, welcome. By the way, we are live, if all the links work correctly, on Facebook too. For the first time ever on my Creator Talk Live, Creator Talk Disney, Creator Talk Facebook group. Boy, wifey just gave me some coffee. She's really loud in the hallway. I don't know if you can hear, but I got some coffee and I need it. Anyway, Creator Talk Live, when we talk about this thing that is creating content here on YouTube and every other place you can do it. Creator Talk Live, couple different topics tonight that we're going to talk about. Welcome in. If you're watching live, welcome in. The best way to interact with the show is, of course, live right here every Sunday night, 10 o'clock my time, 11 o'clock Eastern time. Hey, here for a moment. What's going on? And again, you can watch it if you're a member of the Facebook group on Facebook for the first time ever tonight. We'll see how that goes. I just want to hit another button, so we'll see how that goes. Got to be honest, I'm trying to up my Facebook game. I don't like Facebook, but I'm trying. But anyway, Pete McDevitt Show in the house. I am here. Do not tell Joe. Oh, okay. I won't tell anyone. Anyway, so we've got a couple things we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about three main topics. Owen Video. You may know him if you're watching. If you're one of those people who watches the creator community, the people who are teaching how to create on YouTube, I'm obviously a big fan of them. We're talking about Roberto Blake and Nick Nimmin and Dean Nimmin and Sean Cannell and Daniel Batal and Daryl Eves from Vid Summit. Daryl Eves, that one, and so many more. I hate to even say names because I'm going to leave people out, but so many of them this weekend have been doing a charity stream, and now it's charity streams where they're asking people to donate to Owen Video. His last name's not Video, but he's known as Owen Video. He is a great guy. He's already beat cancer once. I don't know him personally at all. I've enjoyed his videos for years. And so I think it was like a 12-hour stream, and it's still going. I think they're at $80,000 right now. You can check it. The link is alive right now. They're going to go until they get 150,000, I believe is what they said. And the link is the pinned comment. I don't know why I'm pointing. It's not up there. In my head, it's up there. The pinned comment in the chat here. I also put it on my Creator Talk Live Facebook group. I don't know why I want to call that a Disney group. It's a Facebook group, and you can check that out. If you're not a member over there, you can be. Anyway, point of all of this is Owen Video. If you want to donate, click there. It goes directly to him. Don't super chat. That super chats would come to me. Don't do that. You can do that, but that wouldn't be for that. Owen Video. $150,000 they're trying to raise. They're at $80,000. I think they're live right now on Viper's channel. They were a couple hours ago. Roberto Blake's been involved in it. They're giving away all kinds of prizes over there. I don't have any prizes to give you. I'm just me. But you definitely want to get over there. There's some really neat stuff they're giving away, but the idea is to help Owen and his family. And again, I don't have a personal relationship with Owen. I've talked to him like I've talked to a lot of people like you guys have through social medias and such. But he's just a good guy. And again, he's beaten cancer once and he has inoperable. They gave him 2 years is what I heard yesterday. But I'm going to be a believer. I'm a man of prayer and I'm a man of belief. And I will believe that I will be believing for Owen and his family that he's going to beat it again. So please go check out that link. Click on it. And if you want to go over to check out Viper, I don't even know how you spell it. If you're part of the Disney creator community, you probably know who Viper is. He's going to be the MC at Vid Summit this year. Owen Video has been the MC at Vid Summit for years. I haven't been at Vid Summit yet, but I will be someday. Anyway, all of that to say, that's one of the topics tonight. I love this creator community so much. I had a quick little conversation with a friend of mine in the Disney community. And for me, I'm going to say hi to everybody in chat here in a minute. So hang out. If I haven't said your name, don't feel bad yet. For me, it's about building concentric circles with me in the middle. Sorry if that sounds selfish, but that's the truth. The things I love and the things I want to accomplish, me in the middle in all these concentric circles. The Disney YouTube community, right? And then the YouTube creator coach community, they don't intersect very much, but they do with Rob from Disney Blog. And he will be our guest here in about 5 or 10 minutes. I think I saw him in chat. Regardless, he will be on the show with us shortly. And he was in the live stream and made a nice donation. I made a couple donations yesterday. He's a good friend. And frankly, I think of him a lot when I am doing this show. So I want to have him on. So anyway, we're going to talk about this community and the ability to use YouTube to reach out to people. We're talking about multi-streaming a little bit. The Disney trip. I have a new Disney trivia show on Friday nights. I did one on Saturday night this week. And yeah, I think it's an interesting tool to use to multi-stream. Some people love multi-streaming to different platforms, like we are in the show on Facebook, on YouTube right now. Some people think it's not worthy of doing. A lot of people do Twitch and YouTube. I'd like to get your guys' opinions, talk about it. And then the YouTube Creators Channel. I just want to make everybody aware of it. So we're going to talk about that. Let me say hi to everybody in chat. Then I will invite Rob in, and we'll see what's going on. So here for a moment, it's in the house. Pete McDevitt, my good friend, is in the house also. I think he's saying I'm here, do not tell. So that might mean he's on Facebook. Maybe I shouldn't have told him or told you. No, he's here on YouTube. Never mind. Paximus, my buddy's here. What's going on, Pax? If you want to check out a pretty good interview, I think it's about education. Oh, I know. Check out Paximus's video. Well, it was a podcast on YouTube a 2-3 weeks ago. He had me on as a guest. I enjoyed that conversation immensely. There he is. Rob Disney Blog is in the house. We'll bring him on in a minute. Mar in Memphis in the house. What's going on, my friend Mar? Love you. Happy birthday. Not really, but all these halfway to Christmas things makes me think of our birthday, right? Who else is here? Sherry, Awesome Sunset Travels is here. Let's see if we've got people in from Facebook too. I'm going to move this. That is in the way. By the way, if you see people in green, they are members of the channel, like Sherry and Mar, and they get noticed because they're in green in the chat, and they also have access to some emojis and stuff like that there. If you're wondering, that's what's going on. I'm going to bring on Rob on. Rob, you ready? I see you down there. You ready to go? I'm going to go with yes on that. Here we go. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. How are you?
I am great, guys. If you don't know, this is Rob. He's been on the show before. Rob from DisneyBlog.com. He does a lot of stuff. You've got connections in the YouTube community. You were on, who was it? You were on, was it Doc Rock? I feel like
I was on Doc Rock a couple months ago talking about Disney stuff. And surprisingly, everything ends up coming back to Disney somehow. I know, right? In that group, even though 95% of the people are not.
Sometimes Disney when I'm in those shows, I blame me, but I blame you for that one. I remember that one. Yeah. But anyway, why don't you take a minute and tell the people who are in chat about you? You've been on a couple of my shows before, at least one, but you'll do a better job of it than me. This is Rob, guys.
Hi, I'm Rob Valls, and I own Disney Blog. And about 15 years ago, I had the bright idea of buying a domain, disneyblog.com, and have been kind of sitting on it for a little while, and now got the time and the desire to build it up into something. I don't know quite yet, but I mean, the idea of Disney Blog is that we help you plan your best Disney vacation ever. So the idea really is that we're going to talk about getting there and having fun and then getting home. I'm not going to talk necessarily about cupcakes or churros or
so more about the travel side of it.
Right, exactly. It's getting there, making sure that you understand the best way to do it, but not only focusing on Disney World, but I live in Scottsdale, Arizona, so it's easier for me to get in the car and go over to Disneyland.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And then, I'm planning trips to, assuming that we get beyond whatever's happening right now. I'd like to go to Tokyo Disney and Paris Disney and, all the like,
Me too.
Yeah.
Travel to Walmart sounds good right now, let alone. Right. So I hear you. And, you're like me, being a Disney nut in Scottsdale, or for me in Fort Worth.
Right.
It's just different. I don't live in Anaheim. I never lived in Anaheim, but I lived in Southern California, and I don't live in Orlando. And now that I do this, I've got so many friends who, there are days that I just can't go on social media because I'll just be sad because I'm not there. Right. And then there's always somebody there I know now. So Scottsdale, that's a drive though. Do you fly when you go, or do you drive?
To California, I drive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm a lead foot and I can get there in about 6 hours. And then I have a car to go around. We were there my son and I went there a couple weeks ago. For just a couple nights, and because we hadn't been to the Avengers campus, that was brand new. And
I got two daughters who can't wait to see that.
Yeah, so we were there, enjoyed that immensely. We hadn't gone on the ride that I'm sorry, the former Hollywood Hotel ride that is now the
Galaxy's Edge, or Galaxy Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Which was fun. Which was definitely fun. So yeah, and then we also want to try hotels around Disneyland Park because we've been kind of spoiled in the past where we're DVC members, And so we've been able at the last minute to get space at the Grand Californian.
See, I've never stayed there. I
more than
really
once.
want to go there.
Yes.
Like that's probably number one on my I want to list.
It is, if you stayed at Wilderness Lodge, you'll get the vibe.
I have, and I love it. I went without my wife. It was one day. It was with a buddy. Well, it was for Galaxy's Edge opening. It was the night before that opened. And I felt guilty the whole time because it's totally me and my wife's, I don't know what to call it, vibe. I don't know. Whatever the right word is. It's ours. I love national parks. I used to live in Southern California, as I mentioned. I used to go to Yosemite more than the average bear. I love that. I don't know. Whatever it is.
It's great. Theming. And then you can walk directly into California Adventure.
Yep.
And, it's, like the side door. And especially in the middle of the day, if you're doing any of the serious travel plans of go first thing in the morning and then go up to lunch, you can duck out really easily to your hotel room, take a nap. One of my rooms actually had a view of the park.
Oh, nice.
And we could see World of Color from there and things like that. So it's, people will argue, I've been to Walt Disney World 12 plus times. And I'm going to go back, and I own DVC there, but I'm going to say that I kind of have more fun at Disneyland than I do at Disney World. Yeah.
So I'm a Disneylander, Southern Californian. I've gone to Disneyland 100 times for every one time I've been to Walt Disney World, probably. And that's probably not an exaggeration, but I'm the one that's I'm really the only Southern Californian that I've found so far that admits that Walt Disney World is a better vacation destination. And it's just because there's 4 parks versus 2. I mean, for me, there's no Animal Kingdom, there's no Epcot.
Yeah, I think, and I'm going to make, and this is my, this is a video. I don't know if you know Heather Ramirez, but she's Tom Buck's wife.
I mean, it's ringing. Well, both those names are ringing a bell, but I don't know why.
Tom Buck is the Enthusiasm Project. He does a lot on as a creator on equipment and things like that. Tom Buck's a great guy, and she's my YouTube coach.
Oh,
I've hired her for my being.
I need 4 of those.
Well, that's what the creator community is all about, because you get little bits of coaching from a whole bunch of us instead of one person.
Yeah.
But I told her of my goal of making a video, and my argument in this video is don't take your babies and your toddlers to Walt Disney World. That's my argument. If they can't walk and they can't poop on their own, don't take them. And I know I'm going to get.
Trust me, they can poop.
I know. Well, I mean, on their own. I mean, like without mom and dad.
I hear you.
It's not that I'm trying to be harsh about it, but my argument is this. If we took our young child on a Disney cruise, and with the childcare facilities and things like that, it was awesome. He never wanted to leave the club.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. You've got Hilton Head, and you've got Vero Beach, and there's, taking it slow. I mean, you can go to Disney World with your child. That's fine, but don't expect to be marching through the parks. That's the point that I mean.
Thank you.
Yeah,
so if I may, we're going in October. And so I go, I really, there's 3 trips that I do now. I go with a YouTubing friend, which I've done a couple times now. I go with my family. And when I mean family, I mean people who live in my house.
Right.
And then I go with my extended family. Now this October trip is an extended family trip, and I'm excited about it, but I have
talked about it. Yeah.
Yes. I have 4 daughters. 2 of them are giving me grandkids, and one's 3 and the other 2 are like almost 1. And that when we've talked about this, we're going to make memories for us, not them. They are photo enhancers on this trip. And I've already admitted I'm going to be the guy I'm hanging out in the lounge and the beach, because I don't need, first of all, I've done all the rides and I love them. Don't get me wrong, but that's a different trip for me. This is the one, hey, this is our first picture with, I don't know, whatever, the princess.
And if you've got that mindset, then you're fine.
Because I ain't standing in the lines.
You've been there and you've seen people like marching their children from ride to ride, thinking, we're going to have as much fun as we possibly can.
Get over here, we're having fun right now.
And so in the theme of my video is you can go, but bring grandma and grandpa. whatever, be able to have somebody to leave the kid back at the room, take the older kids to the park.
Yes.
And
you'll find me at the Poly Pool family.
Right. Exactly. And that's my point. But I think the bigger point of Disneyland, I think that it's easier to navigate if you've got toddlers and babies in there. So I'm not saying don't take him to a Disney park.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That is a hot take that I totally agree with. Moments of the Mouse, Moments of the Magic. Welcome in. Hope you're having a great night. Hey, Mar, what's going on? Here for a moment says Disneyland is superior. Disneyland is superior from a nostalgia. Like I collected 40th anniversary Disneyland stuff in 95, people. 50th anniversary is, it's October 1st. And Disneyland is superior from a historical perspective, but from a vacation perspective, I don't know. Now, so Disney blog and your YouTube, this is a video that you're strategizing on.
Yeah,
right? It's not a video they can go see it. Mm-hmm. Hey, Adam, what's going on?
I'm great for writing scripts.
Okay. We've talked about that before. I don't know if it was on a show or not, but I think that's a skill I don't have.
Right. And that's the thing. So there's two things to look at here. I write the script just so that I can get it out on paper. But I'm better off not reading it off a teleprompter. I have a teleprompter right over there. I have another camera set up and I use it for other business. This is only part of what I do. I sell.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Tell me more. Keep going.
I'm better off when I'm just talking straight to camera and I know my notes. I know a couple of headlines and things like that. And I just let it go.
Yeah.
And trust that whatever comes out of me for the next 10 to 12 minutes is going to be fine. I do a lot of training videos right now. This setup is nice and it's meant for my hobby, but I found out during the pandemic, when I was made to go work from home, all of a sudden this became my office and as my hobby space.
Like so many of us, right?
Right, exactly. So I'm getting a lot more chance to do video face to face. And then I don't know if you saw on my stream, on my Facebook site, I'm running for public office now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm aware. I don't know where I saw it, but I know of it. Yes.
Yeah. So, I'm going to have to talk to a lot more people. And if I can do it in such a way,
this medium is much more effective. I mean, so let me dive in on that a little bit. Rob and I have talked online and offline a few times. And so I don't know what he's going to remember about me and he's not going to remember what I remember about him because there's been various conversations, but we have interconnecting circles, as I like to say. Yeah. I run a nonprofit. I'm the executive director, CEO of a nonprofit. He's on the boards of, or at least was, if not is, on the boards. Yeah. Okay. I thought so. And he's running for office, which means that we need to pray for him because, politicians are I will pray for you. Anyway, I'll just leave it there. I used to want to run for office and then I met people and I'm like, okay, anyway, but we'll talk about that another time. But what I love about YouTube is, there's a bunch of layers to this, but it is, I'm going to sound like Daryl Eves right here on purpose. This is the best tool, the best medium, the best tool. I'm going to use the word tool to get our word out in the history of history, of history. And so again, I run a nonprofit and I do have, this is going to sound crazy. When I first started to dive into YouTube, it was on the reason for it was to promote my nonprofit. Right. As an executive director, CEO, I make speeches at, every chicken lunch and chicken dinner of all time, anywhere I've lived, I've made a speech at, the Rotary and all those things. And let's be real. Let's be honest, ineffective. 14 people, 20 people, 100 people, whatever you got, maybe 1/3 of them are listening. And you got to take off your shirt and make a joke to get them to look up because the rubber chicken meal in front of them is really important. And so is the person they've never met. It's about networking. Right. And so the effective way I want a warm market, right? So talking about the Disney or the YouTube algorithm, you don't want every Tom, Dick, and Harry to subscribe to your channel because then when YouTube puts it out on to them and they don't watch it, you're telling the YouTube algorithm, hey, they're not interested. It's the same kind of thing. If I'm making a speech to a room of 100 people, of which I only have maybe 10 or 15 that might be interested, and I got to hope that they're not sitting next to a really pretty girl or it's dessert time or whatever, all the things you got to fight. I want a warm market. I want to get people who, and that, again, those concentric circles. For me, my YouTube, I have a couple YouTube channels, but my main YouTube channel is this one, and it's Disney. And I hope it's a little bit of, you can do it kind of attitude. Maybe not, I don't want to say coaching. I'm not a coach. I used to be a coach, but that was football and baseball. That's different. I want to spread this is a great tool and you can do it kind of attitude. Here's the tools I'm using, get to know Rob, make friends with Mar, just, I don't know, that kind of stuff. And that, again, that concentric circle of creator talk, me and you fit both in the Disney creator world, lovers of Disney who love YouTube, whatever. And we both at least are making friends with listening to fans of the YouTube creator coaching world, where again, Owen video, exactly. Who are some of your favorites and why, and how do you interconnect with Owen? I hope this doesn't embarrass you, but you made a very generous donation yesterday live. I saw it happen. I made a couple smaller ones than you did, but just talk about that for a minute.
Well, and the thing is I've watched Owen off and on, and I know how he has also influenced the people that influence me.
Well said. Me
too. In that realm, I know that I've been blessed that I have a good job, and I've had a good job for a number of years, and so I have the ability to help. I mean, not to a huge amount, but enough to be my part. and so I knew of him, and I was in 2014. I was in intensive care for a week. And I know what that did to my family, and I know how long it took me. A couple of months after getting out of the hospital to get back into full form. So sure. I get the idea of what this does, not only to Owen as the patient, but the family as well. So
true.
I just wanted to, make sure that they knew that I was thinking of them and I could help a little bit, and a lot of other people were helping too. And so, and honestly, Saturday mornings for me are bouncing around YouTube to watch things. Like, I'll watch
Nick's show every Saturday morning.
Right, exactly. You've got something, right? You'll see me on your channel with your daughter, or I'll be watching Nick Nimmin.
When my show is I have a Saturday morning show he referred to. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's kind of a passion project. It is what it is. It's my daughter's thing that I'm helping her with. But as soon as we're done,
The Mandalorian, it was, being that I was a watcher of The Mandalorian, it was like, she was telling me stuff I had no clue about. And
she's good, right?
And I would have to go back and watch it. And
I don't think she's listening, but so I'll say it out loud. There was a while there, I'm like, I don't know if she's just making some of this stuff up, but she was right. She no, I know, it was crazy. She wasn't. But anyway, right after that show's over for me on Saturday morning, she walks out, and I turn on Nick. I mean, Nick Nimmin, right at the top of my favorite creators, Sean Cannell, Daryl Eves, and all these people were on the show yesterday. And I think they're still going live now. I think it was over on D Nimmin's channel, and I think it's on Vipers now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So Doc Rock was there yesterday.
Doc Rock, if you don't know him, is something manager, the relationship manager over
manager for Ecamm.
That hard word.
And a creator.
Mm-hmm. Great guy. Well, I mean, I don't know him personally, but I love his content. I love his attitude. Is what I love.
He's great, and I'm part of his community, his creator community, and he was on there for a while. He holds a class every Saturday for us, and he invites us, and we have a giant Zoom call, and we just ask questions, and we all help each other. I mean, Doc really does get a lot of things answered, but at the same time, especially Doc was on the benefit. So myself and one other person took over that call and made sure everybody got their questions answered during that time.
Love it.
And honestly, I've only started really in earnest to do this, last October, November, and I'm still putting out my, stuff, in little bits and bots. And I'm also got a training class that I'm doing. Nice. I consult with doctors. So you're not going to see any of that content that I'm making, but it's there. And I'm trying to teach doctors how to be better marketers of their services.
So we've talked about this a little bit when I first met you, I believe. And again, I started to share, when I first started to get into YouTube, it was so I'd get better with the technology side of sharing my message about what I do with my after school programs and my nonprofit, blah, 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 blah. Again, you're on boards. I run organizations. We, a lot of interconnections there. I think that everyone, I work with young people. Let me put it this way. And often they're, especially the junior high, high school, young college age, they'll ask me questions that are somehow surrounded with their future. You know, what am I going to do with this and how am I going to do that? And one of the best tools you can create, you can take on for yourself to give yourself that advantage in life is storytelling, and video is a huge part of that. You've got to be able to articulate, like I can't do right now. You got to be able to articulate. And frankly, I don't know. I never had trouble. I'm not going to say I never get nervous talking in front of people, but you do it enough and it goes away.
Right.
But this is, I find this is even easier. Now, maybe I'm an arrogant guy who, because I've spoken in front of people a lot, and maybe I'm the wrong person to make this determination, but I find this a lot easier. You know, I don't have to worry about, why is that guy giving me stink eye? And you know, I mean, right now I can only see you and names in the chat. So if you're one of those people who wants to get good at it, talking in public, this is the way to go in my humble opinion.
It is. Well, and you know, and I'm a salesperson, you know, to a certain, I didn't even start, you know, my trainings in advertising, I ended up being in IT for the first 10 years of my life.
Oh, okay.
But all of a sudden, you know, I found radiology, and so I've just been selling radiology services for the past 2 decades, and I can wake up in the morning and get a doctor on the phone and go off for an hour and talk about telemedicine. And
how much better for the doctor? Hey, Dr. Smith, I really want 5 minutes of your time. Well, I don't have it, but you can sit in your jammies. You can be in your office. Right. That, I mean, I've been in nonprofit since 93. Yes, everybody, I'm old. Hello. Hey, by the way, hello, Coffee Talk and Tech. Welcome in. So since 1993 is when I started in the nonprofit world. But for 18 months there, I sold insurance, which sucks. It pays really, really well, but insurance isn't even real. But that's a whole nother conversation.
Right.
Anyway, to get the appointment, to get in front of the right person, you can get an appointment. People want to waste their day all the time. To get an appointment in front of somebody who can actually make the decision and is going to make. Going to say yes, the work is on the front end. Well, this is a lot easier. I could have done, 10 minutes. I mean, how many 10-minute blocks? I could do a zillion of these in a day. Back in the day when I did it, I had to drive 45 minutes to this office to talk for 20 minutes. And then it was a 3 meeting max a day, and then you'd be beat. Now you can do 3 before, your first break. So you got to learn this, people, and young people, old people. This is a skill. And that's what this show is about, frankly. Creator Talk Live is me trying to do my tiny little way, in my tiny little way, get with people like you, Rob, and people that I like, people I enjoy, and just share that A, nothing's too hard to learn, and B, it's on YouTube. We're on it now. Just Google it.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that's another thing, though, is this is a learned skill.
Yes.
And you have to sit down and practice it. And I was on that call yesterday with, a person was like, well, should I use this piece of equipment or should I use StreamYard? And I'm like, what are you most comfortable with? And he goes, well, I've always kind of just used StreamYard. And I said, well, if you're walking into a new situation, just use what you're most comfortable with.
Yes.
Just do it. I mean, he was streaming in a church. And
I find that people are A, scared, and B, excuse making as it relates to the technology.
Right.
Because we all have.
Yeah.
Remember War Games? Remember that big? I love that movie. Were you old enough for War Games?
Game. Yeah.
Yes, I love that movie, right? And it was Whopper, and it was huge, right? This thing is in our pocket, and it's more powerful than that. And it's got
it is.
Video capabilities and photo capabilities and audio capabilities that, sure, if you're going to want a camera, it's a want, not a need if you want to be a creator. If you want to be a connector. And
let's face it, some of the biggest creators are doing it off their phone. Mm-hmm. They're doing it off of simple stuff. What was it? What we were listening to the other day, yesterday on Nick, I think, around the same time we were on, was that Mr. Beast doesn't want to use fancy cameras. He doesn't want that look or feel or whatever. He wants it to be more organic, and it doesn't affect him at all. So,
it probably does affect him. Let's be real. I'm gonna push back on that. By the way, Wild, so I really appreciate that. Thank you. I think it helps him. It makes it more authentic. Yeah. Like, do you want that crispy, clear? Like, I like a smooth, gimbal style going over, I don't know, New York City, Casey Neistat stuff. But let's be real, Mr. Beast ain't going for CNN quality footage. I don't know why I said CNN.
And that's fine for him.
Or, Scorsese, maybe that would have been a better way to say it. He's going for more realistic. I use a phone. How many of all my videos, live streams and videos total, just this channel alone, I have more than 1,500 uploads. Not one was edited other than on a phone. Now, I'm not saying I'm not Martin Scorsese. I only got 4,000 subs. I'm not crushing it by any means. But my point is, you don't have to. I mean, I want a camera. I want to get good at that. But, I have a full-time job and I have a family. And, I learned how to edit on my phone first, right? Yeah, life comes first. And I'll get there someday, but it's not I can't start until I have all that stuff. I've got friends who are, let's be real. I got friends who call themselves YouTubers, post 3 videos a year, got all the equipment, spent $20,000 on crap, and don't really create anything.
And that's something, if anybody wants to take issue with me, is that I have about 20 videos I'm producing right now, and I haven't put anything out for a month and a half.
You're working on 20 at one time?
Yeah, because well, remember, and during April, I did 50 videos in a month, 50 shorts in a month, and what ends up happening to me is that
that's right. I saw that, or you told me that.
Exactly, it was like
wild stuff. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and you just kind of go crazy in a particular theme, and right now, I'm doing what is the weather in Orlando in a particular month.
Okay.
Right, and I have June up.
Freaking hot.
Right, freaking hot. Yeah, I was in there in June. Let me tell you, people.
Other than December through January, December
cooling towels.
December 21, January 15. Other than that, it's just sweaty.
Right, exactly. I lived in Minnesota for a while. I'm born and raised in Arizona, but I wandered around the United States because whatever. And I lived in Minnesota for 10 years. That's where I met my wife. That's where my son was born. That type of thing. And it was easy for us to go on vacation January, February, and March down to Orlando. And when your body is acclimated to 0 degrees, you show up in Orlando at 60 degrees in your t-shirt and shorts, and you're jumping in the pool while people from Florida are bundled up at 70 degrees thinking it's freezing cold. So, when somebody asks me the question, and this is my snapper preach, when somebody asks a question, when's a good time to go to Disney World? The answer really comes down to, where do you live and how much pain can you endure?
We don't even, we're Disney nuts, Rob.
Yes.
We go more than the average pair. And we don't even consider summer. October is really the start. October through, I guess end of April, to be fair. So May, June, July, August, September, we're not even considering it.
We got lured into a deal at Universal. Yes, I said the U word. And there was a deal for like 4 nights at Cabana Bay plus tickets. And it was like $1,400 without airfare.
What month?
June.
I
right?
sense that. I mean, why do you think they have a deal?
And right, exactly. It was like, and let's be honest, it was attractive. And I thought, oh, what the hell? Why not? We have been locked in the house for the last 16 months. Let's get, and the Velocicoaster was opening. So I got to ride the Velocicoaster before it was open to the public. Well, open on first day. And let me tell you, and my one thing about the Velocicoaster is, all of those health warnings they tell you as you're walking into the ride?
If you have a broken back, don't ride this one.
Right. If you have a heart condition, if you've breathed in the past century, this is the exact time to believe them would be the Velocicoaster.
Really?
Beautiful ride, lovely queue. Very exciting.
Dinosaur eats you at the end. It's great.
It's just, exactly. You get off of it. And the most cruel thing about the ride is when you get off, they make you walk down a set of stairs to get out of the ride. And you are barely hanging on to civilization as you're walking out of the ride. And then you have to go to like some little stupid locker to get your stuff out. And we walked outside. My son and I walked outside and we had to sit on some planter and just go, oh, wow.
That's a little off topic, but that locker thing they do at Universal.
Yeah.
I find annoying. maybe I don't want to be that guy who doesn't know if it's different. I don't want to be that guy who's grumpy over different, but I don't get why is it better that way? I don't know.
They don't want stuff. Well, all right. It depends on how you do it. You and I have talked about this before in terms of Disney versus Universal filming on rides. Universal just doesn't want you filming on a ride, period. But they also don't want stuff flying out of your pocket. And the way that they're spinning you around, if there's anything loose on you, it could become a projectile and hurt somebody. So I get that.
That happen a lot. Like, I feel like I'd see some pretty funny videos on the internet.
You would think, well, I mean, they basically do a strip search on you.
I mean,
I know, my son walked ahead of me and he didn't beep. And then I walked through and I beeped and I had to like go do the wand and stuff like that. And they started to like,
that's how I met my wife.
My son. And I'm like, no, he has to stay with me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, Mah. And so, I pulled him, yanked him down. They wanded me down. I was fine and whatever. And I was carrying around, I didn't bring it on, but I had the Insta360 camera that I could have bolted to my face somehow. I could have done something and filmed it. I could have put it in my mouth and opened my mouth.
GoPro's got a way to stick it.
Right. I could have filmed it. But I also, before I arrived, I was watching some videos of other creators, and somebody had worn those sunglasses that have the video cameras in them.
There's some news coming out about some new stuff right around the corner on that.
Yeah. And then there was another video of two YouTube creators that were standing outside of the exit to the ride.
Okay.
And they were handing out their business cards. Like, here's my YouTube channel. Come talk to us. Here's my YouTube channel. Come talk to us.
Aggressive.
And very aggressive, so aggressive that Universal kicked them out of the park.
I don't know how much you watch my show. I think we talked about this. Yes, it is you. I'm positive. You reacted to something that we were having a conversation. I didn't know you were talking about my take on the live streaming at Disney, but I fear that I'm right. I hope that I'm wrong, but I definitely believe it's in the Disney park's best interest to not have it as much as they do now. My friends in the community seem to think that I'm the crazy one, and I hope I am.
I don't think you are. I don't think you are.
I am either.
And when we're talking, about Resort TV 1,
I love them, by the way.
Right, I love them too. I drop them. I drop some money on them. Every time I want.
Consider them friends. Used to be a supporter, or used to be I'm still a supporter. Used to be a sponsor. Yeah. It's just running out of money, but I love them.
There's another family that I follow that run a travel agency, Ear to Ear Travel. And they do like Mondays and Fridays and whatever. And it's just, them going around trying cupcakes and whatever else. And since I work at home, I've got a monitor, right? If I point up here, I've got a monitor hanging above my camera. And so with you or anybody else, I'll just throw the video up on that monitor as I'm working, and I'll listen and I'll glance up and I'll watch live streams or Resort TV 1 or whatever.
Mine's right there, but it's
Ear to Ear magic. Thank you. And I'll watch these things, and I kind of worry about it too. But it's to me, I think we agree is that it's great advertising.
I do think it is.
Yeah, for the park.
But I also get that to get the ticket, you got to buy the ticket to experience it. Now I get it. It's a different experience. I get it. And here's the thing. Here's where I'm confident that it's not happening right now. The parks are full. The parks are full. So it's not like the world. I do see it, and I suspect Disney sees it as a value add. You can't come so you can watch. Who would not come because they can watch it on YouTube? I don't think that's a conversation that people have. But I can tell you that there are other amusement parks who do feel that way. I was telling my buddy Pete in chat right now, we were having a conversation. I live close to the Fort Worth Zoo, and we thought about getting an annual pass. We had an annual pass just because we like lions and tigers and bears. Oh my! We thought about renewing it. We being me and my wife, and just doing a Fort Worth style vlog on Friday nights and Saturday nights once a week, and go to the zoo a lot. And then when I was there to buy the passes, it says right there, you can't do it, which is funny because the first YouTube in the history of history was at the Fort Worth Zoo right down the street from me. But that's a whole nother conversation. But my point is this. I think that I just worry about it. I think that as the CEO and the leadership changes at Disney, they seem to be moving to to that a little more. I'm not mad at Bob Chapek like everybody else in the Disney community is. Everybody likes to hate him.
He's a corporate wonk like all the other corporate wonks.
What do you? As a fan of Disney, that's what I want at the top of Disney. I want somebody who's, we almost
as long as
lost
things
Disney.
are painted and the streets are clean.
Eisner almost lost Disney. Let's be real. So, I don't have a problem with somebody who's counting beans at the top. That's what they should do. But I don't think it's happening right now. I do think it's in the future, and it doesn't even matter if I'm right or wrong. I don't get a vote. I'm not on the board, but I worry about it.
To take a next step above the streaming thing is my worry is that fast passes are dead.
Well,
in the sense that they're going to move more to a universal model where you either pay more for a fast pass, or you only get fast passes based on the level of hotel that you're staying at on the Disney
just
property.
Gonna say you said it before I got it out of my mouth. It's already that way. If I stay at a Disney resort, I get more than if you don't.
Right.
It's already a thing. It's just I don't know.
And to a certain extent, I can understand that between on-site versus off-site, but I'm more worried that worried to a certain extent because I stay at the Wilderness Lodge, so I really don't worry about it. But that
you stay there every time when you go to DVC.
I will. We'll stay at the. Well, actually, we stayed at Old Key West the last time. We were able to get in, and that's a lovely.
We were just there the last trip. We stayed there. I like.
Yeah, it's a great place to stay, especially if you.
My problem is I want to do the next thing. I love them all. Polly is my favorite, but I want to do them all, and until I've done them all, I don't want to do another one for the second time. Does that make sense?
No, and that makes sense. Like my goal is to go to every Disney resort in the world, right? And however I get to do that, I'll do it. But at this point in time, my guess is, if they move to this direction, you have to be at the Poly or Grand Floridian or the Contemporary or Wilderness Lodge, and you'll get a certain level of access.
I think so the PR side of me thinks that what they'll do is they'll give you one, they'll give you two, and then if you stay at All Star, they'll give you four, and then if you stay at the mid range, they'll give you six, and then Poly they'll give you eight, and if you drop $399, you'll get unlimited and all that stuff. And again, the Disney bubble. I love you all. I know there's a lot of Disney bubble members in chat right now, and I love you all, and I'm in there too. But there's a piece of my brain that thinks that we got to get out a little bit. If you go to Six Flags Arlington, again, right down the road from me,
been there
for years, you can have you just buy a ticket and walk around. God bless you. Good luck to you. Or for $99, they'll give you a couple fast passes. For $199, for $399, you can smack people as you walk onto the freaking rides. I mean, so it's already a thing.
Yeah, it is. It's the bubble.
Amen. Here
we don't realize. I mean, and I appreciate,
and we seem to get mad at them making money when I get the argument. I don't want to be like Mr. Entrepreneurial, financial brain, but if it was free, would you go? Is how I say it a lot. If the day if you planned your trip for 3 years, you plan an hour and a half, whatever, you plan your trip, and then you find out, it's free day. Are you happy or unhappy?
Right.
Exactly. I mean, you save your money, maybe, but do you really get to do anything?
Right.
I mean, it's a cattle call you're walking through. I mean, that wouldn't be fun.
I've been there on, and here's another hint: never go on Christmas Day. Just don't. So
I used to in Disneyland. We used to go. My mom told me.
Yes, Pete, you're in a bubble.
Yes, you are, buddy. Love you, but I am too. And I want. Come on, can I just stay in the bubble? I wish I could. I
love the bubble. But
exactly, that's why I pay.
When we're planning and trying to execute a good vacation for our family, we have to step outside of the bubble into reality land and understand the things around you. And am I spending too much money on this or whatever? Or I'm accepting the fact that I'm blowing. What did I spend? $299 a ticket for a VIP tour at Magic Kingdom.
See, I've never done one of those. You know why I've never, and I want to. Do you know why I've never done one of those?
Why?
Because I allocate my resources somewhere else.
Right.
I've got 4 kids.
True.
You know what? Me and my wife will do a VIP tour as soon as all the kids go away, which probably will never happen now that I have grandkids. I mean, and my friend Mar says, and she's got a good point, and I hear this a lot. She's on a fixed income. So look at, what's his name? Is it Bezos? Bezos or Branson? Yeah, Branson and Bezos. They just went to space. I don't get to go to space.
They went to outer Earth orbit.
They went somewhere. They went really high, whatever. And, it is what it is. We all don't get to go where we want to go. We don't have a right to it. I mean, I want everyone to go everywhere they want to go all the time, but that's not how life works. And so,
well, and if you look,
anyway.
so I went and looked at the Disney, whatever you're going to call the Magic Keys or the annual pass, new program, whatever. And, honestly, sure, you can spend $3.99 and have an annual pass, but you're not going to Disneyland anytime during the summer, pretty much, other than like 4 days in June. And they black out everything else. So, I get what Mar's saying, that they're pricing people out of the market, but they're making a strategic decision.
Yeah.
That they know that people will pay money.
I mean, when I go to Walmart, I don't get to only buy steak. Sometimes I buy ramen too. I mean, I don't,
right. Or like I don't go to Walmart.
I mean, I just,
Then again, I don't go to Trader Joe's either. So
I don't go anywhere. I would do. My wife does the shopping, and here's why. That is not a sexist comment. That is a technology comment. I can hit the button and it could come to me, or you could go walk around the hallways. I don't understand the choice here, but
you know what I did for the first time in 3.5 years last night?
What's that?
I went out to a store and bought a pair of pants.
Okay. I don't get shopping. I gotta be real. I'll go shopping once and or twice a year. Two daughters who still live with me, both at Christmas time, both to buy presents for mommy, for the kid, right? Other than that, if I'm shopping, well, I used to go to the Disney store, but they don't have those anymore.
No.
I got lost. If I'm shopping, I got lost. This works just fine. I remember the first time I don't want to have a big COVID conversation, but the first time we went to we went to Walmart. Let's be real. The Walmart not far from my house during COVID. And this was like 15 days to flatten the curve early on. Nobody's going anywhere stuff. Right. And I'm sitting in my car and the guy's all masked up and he brings stuff to my car and I open up the back. He puts it in, he closes it up. He wouldn't even let me tip him. They weren't allowed to tip him. He got mad at me. I can't, they'll fire me. I'm like, okay, well, that's
right.
But, and then he goes in and I'm in my car. I'm like, I'm never going in that store again. That was perfect. That was perfect. I don't know why anyone shops in the store.
And so I do Instacart, and the grocery store that I normally shop at now also has a pickup feature, which they didn't have before. I know Walmart has it and a couple other stores have it, but
pizza places have it.
Right. Exactly. And pizza places are having it now. And I actually, and then there's a sweet lady that works for the store that I shop at that does the shopping. And let's be honest, when you go use Instacart, you're basically just shooting dice, and the quality of the person that's going to pick your stuff out. But the employee of the store actually does really good shopping. And then when you arrive,
they upgraded us
it in
a lot. I don't really understand the I guess like if I order a 8 ounce and they don't have it, they give me the 8 ounce price, but they give me the 32 ounce box. I mean, that happened to us a lot. I'm like,
they have a lot more flexibility than the Instacart drivers.
I don't know.
And so, I know.
Seems to be the way to go for me.
I know.
The aisles are also people-y.
Yes. It's way too people-y out there. Way too people-y out there. And, I went to the mall and we do actually have a mall that it exists. And it's actually like the 4th or 5th top ranked mall by, I know malls
Scottsdale's got some money. I'm guessing they've got
some dough,
some shoppers.
And, we were wandering around and I would say about half the people were masked up indoors.
How recently was this?
Last night.
Oh, wow. Wow. Right. Well, I live in Texas. You actually get shot at if you put on a mask here.
Right. Well, and we're not that far behind you folks, in terms of, all the Californians moving to Texas, some of them stop here. And
I love Arizona. I will make fun of California all day long. And I have a right to, because I live there, and all the jokes about how stupid they are, they're all underselling how stupid California is. Yeah. But I love Arizona. I love the people. I don't love the weather in summer, talking about weather, but it's not like the humidity. It's still freaking hot though. But
after I do this, we're going swimming.
Well, and I almost went to, I considered going to Arizona State, and a couple of my buddies did go there, and we were from San Diego, so the Arizona State heat, the Tempe, Phoenix area heat, was 20 levels higher than anything we dealt with in San Diego. But they, over those 4 years of college, and now I go out there, I used to go out there a lot. I'm speaking to the choir. You live there. They just live their life smarter than us. Like Rusty, one of my friends, Rusty, he was a big racquetball guy, and he played outdoor racquetball in Tempe, Arizona the whole time. But he was doing it like 5 a.m. or 11 p.m. or I don't know.
A lot of the golf courses, a lot of the golf courses in Arizona, the first 6 or 9 holes are lit, and people will start going out at 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
There's a famous photo. It's older now, but we're the home of speed cameras. There's like 2 companies that are like the speed camera companies, and they're based in Arizona. You're welcome. And they'll also put the speed cameras around, and there's this one shot. It's like 4:15 in the morning, and there were 3 people in the car going to play golf. One was Glenn Campbell in the same car. Glenn Campbell, Alice Cooper, and Charles Barkley.
Well,
those 3 people in a Suburban going to play golf at 4:15 in the morning.
Barkley famously had the worst, not anymore, golf swing in the history of the world. And Alice Cooper, what was it called? Cooper Place, right there by the stadium.
Cooperstown.
Of course, I should have got that one. It's not there anymore, I hear, but what a fun place to hang out. I only did it once, but I had a blast.
I've met Alice Cooper a number of
times. I've only heard amazing things.
With Charles Barkley, but that's a story for
another
day.
Up. We'll talk after the stream. I need to know. Yes,
exactly.
I love him.
But Alice Cooper is like one of the nicest human beings.
I've only heard great things. I have a friend who met him at an event, but not like personally, but I've only heard great things about that guy.
He's just a lovely human being.
Schools and not good music. Sorry, Mr. Cooper. I don't know if you're watching right now. Not that great, but
he did okay with it. His parents are great. Well, I think that, but I mean, he's a local, and he takes care of people locally. And it was sad that, Cooperstown was a great place, but it was downtown. It was by the ballpark and
right next to it. Right, I almost got a ticket right there because it was one-way road.
It did really well during events, but that was
I bet it did. Yeah. Well, it was beautiful. It was like a hard rock, but for metal. So, I mean, it was cool.
Right.
Alice Cooper played our sports store that I worked at in Springfield. My mom lived in Joplin here for a moment, so she was a neighbor, you guys. Anyway, okay, well, let's get to the next topic, because I mean, we're almost running out of time. I'm enjoying this call so much. Give me your opinion on multi-streaming. I mean, you've got friends in the eCam community. This is being restreamed just to my little brand new Creator Talk Facebook group. I don't know why I can't get that out of my mouth. Last night I did a Disney trivia show where I live streamed to a Facebook group and to my YouTube page. I don't know how I feel about it. I've got a Restream license that I've never used once. I don't even know. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I want to be able to interact with the people in real time. Depends on the conversation. Sometimes the conversation is more me and you talking. Sometimes it's more chat conversational. What's your feelings on that? Is that part of your strategy? I mean, when you talk about with your coach, is that something that comes up? I'd like to hear your opinion.
All right. So it kind of depends on your audience. And the funny thing is that, so when I was talking to Heather and Tom during a consultation,
these are his YouTube coaches. If you
both YouTube coaches. And the real thing is that they were all saying you need to own your own domain. You need to own your own thing. And a lot of them were moving over to like Mighty Networks to create a community that isn't based on YouTube or Facebook, or isn't reliant upon YouTube and Facebook for whatever they're doing. And then when they got to me to talk about it, they looked at me and went, "Nope, you got to stay on Facebook, Rob." And so my argument is,
why did they say that?
Because that's where the Disney fans are. You're not going to be able to pull them off. They're going to spend their time.
People don't come off of Facebook. Not that they come off of any of the platforms, but that one seems to be harder to peel away from. And there's
millions upon millions of Disney fans, and you don't need to you don't need to have millions of people following your Facebook group, but honestly, it's where they are. And that was the argument. Even so much so that going onto YouTube for Disney stuff, there's a Disney YouTube community, obviously, but for the casual Disney fan, the more, I'm on there anyway, looking at my puppy pictures. Yeah, they're going to be on Facebook. So if you're looking to get quantity over quality, you're going to be on Facebook. If you want to get quality, and have a few thousand people or 10,000 people or 15,000 people that are going to be more active and possibly benefit you financially more than YouTube. So
I agree with that. That's really well said. Moments of Magic just said, yeah, getting Facebook people to get onto any other platform, even Instagram, is like pulling teeth. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I think the data that I've seen shows that, and my personal feelings are that. But I think what you said is so smart. Like, not a brag, not a humble brag, not a complaint. I got about 4,000 subscribers and make a couple $100s a month on YouTube. I'm not bragging. I'm not crying. I'm stating. And I don't know what everyone else does. I'm a very open guy. I don't care. You can know my stuff. I don't care. But I don't know if that's your goal. That's your goal. It's, you're not 200 people on a Facebook group. You're not going to make $1. Now you can monetize. It depends on how you monetize it. So I think that it really needs to be not to disagree with your coaches. And I doubt they would disagree with this, but tell me how you respond to this, or what they would say if you can. You got to have a little bit in both. You can't be everywhere. I get that, but I want a little bit of a toe. This is what I need to do better. I need to put a little bit of a toe in the Facebook world to get some of that critical mass, a lot of numbers. YouTube, you can build a community of more connection, I think, just my opinion, and more, certainly more monetizable because, AdWords and super chats and just the ability to do it. Facebook is moving that way though. Facebook,
they are
absolutely over the next over the next 5 years, it's going to look a lot more like the gratitude economy that I think YouTube's starting to create. I'll shut up. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I see. Yeah, I believe what you're saying. I would say that like your creator group of people could be taken off into a separate group, like a Mighty Networks or something like that, and survive and do well and survive. And because you'll have more control over it, you have less chance that there's going to be people spamming or whatever, and then you have a better opportunity to monetize and do courses and things like and hosted meetings and whatever like that. But in the realm of Facebook, you do need to be able to monetize, and that's right at the moment is not available. And what if at some point in time they shut you down for whatever stupid reason? Somehow, It's a Small World is playing on a loop behind you, and somebody finally gets grumpy about it and shuts you down for, a strike. Then you're off and you've lost all that ground.
That's another argument that as we grow, we're all going to need to handle, manage, deal with whatever. And seems to me to be an argument you need to be at more than one place. Dolewhipdad.com is something I own.
Right.
I've got some other things too that I won't bother with telling people now, but
I know what your buy me a coffee is.
Exactly right. Ideally, I would grow to the point that if everything went away, they would already know that I exist somewhere else. Like if you build
for you, yeah.
Ideally, it sounds arrogant to even say, but
ideally,
if I got
there's nothing arrogant about it at all. You're building. All right, stop it. You're building a brand, and you are Dole Whip Dad. That's your brand, and there's nothing wrong with that. And it's just the way that people know who you are. And they'll down the line, if something happens, they'll just go into the browser, Google search for Dole Whip Dad, and they'll find you someplace else. You've built a relationship with them. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
that's exactly what you're supposed to be doing. So, the case is that will you lose your YouTube channel? Will you lose your? Probably not. But honestly, I see what they're doing. I see what Tom and Heather are doing and going over and creating a Mighty Networks thing, because it's more of a creator coaching situation. They've got, you can pay more and have a level up and have content.
It seems to me that those people who are building paywall networks, you've really got to have a large amount of people who have found you already, or that is going to be banging your head against the wall. I mean, I get it. It's like the membership on YouTube, right? Like, what do they really get for being a member? I mean, whatever we give them, hopefully a little bit more access, really seems to be what people want. Mighty Networks and those other ones, it's really freemium and premium content,
right?
Right?
There's two ways of looking at it. So Tom is a creator, and so in Tom's mindset, he is, on his channel, Tom Buck on YouTube, he does a lot of great stuff about cameras and audio and lighting and things like that. So if you're doing what we're doing right here, Tom's a great place to go. but he's expecting, he's like at 75,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel. And so he's already built up a critical mass. He was a teacher in California and quit in March to do YouTube full time.
I mean, 75,000 people. That's
he's making more money now as a YouTuber than he was as a teacher, which is a whole nother conversation for another day.
I mean, the math is the math. That's why when people, like, I was on one of the many YouTube Facebook groups on there, and I can't even read half of them because there's so many people who are just wrong about life, frankly. Right. I can't because I can't. Oh, how come YouTube's taking 30%? And I said,
right, that one gets me.
I don't get it. So go to the platform that gives you 100%.
Right.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. But here's my point too, though. So his wife, Heather, is what she calls a passion economy person, not a creator economy, but a passion economy. And there's an author that's written a book on the passion economy. There's
Gratitude Economy from Seth Godin, but some same kind of thing, right?
But this is so passion. What her goal is to have the mindset of she has 100 dedicated people willing to pay her $1,000 a year for her services, and either through subscriptions or whatever else. That's her goal. So she's not trying to be.
So say it again. She's aiming for 100 people that monetize her life at $1,000 a pop each.
Right. Per year.
So through having a course or whatever.
Having a course, or like for me, she's got a mastermind that you can join that's $75 a month, and then you can get one-on-one consulting for her for a couple $100 a month. And she, to me, is worth me writing that check every month. So I'm putting out $275 a month to her for her services, and she's worth it to me. And she because I'm doing a lot of different content things, not just Disney.
Sure.
And I need to go back and focus on Disney
blog.
Right. But she's very helpful in that she pulls me in and gets me focused on exactly what I need to do.
Yeah. If I didn't have
stuff that's the cloudy stuff.
If I was 18 and I just finished high school, or if I was 22 or 23 and just finished college, and I didn't know what I wanted to do, exactly like I was at 18 and 22 or 23, and it was today,
right,
I would be Uber driver, whatever, all those things, and a YouTuber, and I would build courses. I would be Pat Flynn Jr. I would do all the things,
right,
because you have the time. I'm not, this is not a complaint. This is just real life. I'm happy. But I do this as a hobby and I can do math. I mean, it's nice. I don't do this for the super chats. Happy to receive them. I do this because I wanted to meet people who love things that I loved.
Right.
And it's been a huge blessing to me. Again, I don't mind if people know I make a couple $100 a month, and it's a blessing to me. And I put that into the stock market, DVC, and lighting,
right,
and stuff like that.
Well,
that's where it goes.
So my struggle is, I know that I need not only the YouTube channel at disneyblog.tv, and like that.
Check it out. I coughed right the first time.
And then disneyblog.com is the website that really is just blank right now. And I don't
think I knew about the TV. I'm gonna go there now.
Yeah, and the thing about the website is that my goal is not to be the only creator on that. I know that I have a couple of friends of mine. I got a friend that's a CNN producer.
Oh wow!
And she when she retires, she wants to do content creation for me, right?
Oh, I love that.
And so, and my goal is that when I get to the point where I'm made an investment, I've hired a company to help me put out a final template of my website so that other creators can come on and they can provide articles for me, and I will do a revenue split with them. So we'll do the Google ads.
A lot of blogs do that. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, a lot of, and just do that and let people go ahead and have the free reign and creative of building their own voice, building the own. I don't need to be the face of the channel. I'm perfectly fine having other people, and if other people have different ways where they can make money off of me, I'm fine with that.
Disney Food Blog
Right.
AJ I'm a huge fan of AJ. AJ lives where I live. AJ could walk up to my face at Walmart and I wouldn't even know.
Wouldn't
and
even
I'm
know.
Yeah. And
I
so
mean, she started talking to me and showing me her fingernails. I'd know her in a heartbeat.
if she talked to me about Disney food, I wouldn't know it was her.
You know what she does though? You know that AJ just walks around with a cupcake in her hand anywhere she goes. Just that's permanently affixed to her hand.
Right.
It's either that or like fake cake cheese.
I mean, I love my life, but she's winning.
Yes, no, she is. But so my wife used to work at a company called Grateful, which is a production company for YouTubers and content creators in the food space. And there are some bakers and other bakers and cooks that have their own gigs, and they're making during every month that's not Christmas, they're making 40 to 80 grand a month off of
it's
their
real.
videos and
it's
and
real.
sales.
The opportunity is there. And that's another thing about those Facebook groups and everywhere else. They only see the YouTube partner program and the 30% or the 70% of AdWords. Like, could you dream smaller? I mean, are you kidding me?
You're not going to make your money off of YouTube.
And that's the people who I find are very money motivated, which also is not a good way to do anything,
Right.
But whatever. It is what it is. Boy, I got a lot of dummies in here today. Dummies, ooh, you're gone forever. Look, so let's talk about trolls.
Right.
Why would you go down to your mama's basement and make all of these different accounts? I mean, it's really kind of dumb.
Right. Is that like, yeah, I guess it is. That's a bot.
It's one. Oh, maybe it's whatever. Goodbye.
That's
anyway. It's one guy who saw that I bumped him, and now he's got it all 14 of his accounts up, and his mommy's gonna make him some ramen later, and that'll be nice.
Right, okay. Exactly. How's the basement, kid?
Exactly. Okay, so anyway, I think. Oh, and somebody asked in chat, bots, yeah, whatever. The bots come out at night. Isn't that what is that song? Anyway, Earth Central asked a question about, or somebody did. A couple people asked some questions that I want to get to. I was going to scroll up to them, but now Idiot Junior and Fred all put in all that crap, so I'm not. But I know political trolls. You know what? Nobody cares about your politics.
This is Disney.
I know. We're like, who cares?
Anyway,
I mean, there's a Trump and a Biden up there now, and I'm going to go because I don't care. And,
exactly.
What is that?
Well, and let's face it, Jeff. I know for a fact that you and I are not politically aligned.
I know that too. That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I still love you. This is a Disney thing. I don't care.
It's that if people, how do I say this? People who will only like someone because they agree on all things. You couldn't be dumber. Like, that's so dumb. Hey, my name's Jeff, and I voted for. You want to be friends? That's not how it goes. Who cares? Who cares?
Yeah, let's talk about Hall of Presidents for a while.
Yeah, I was sure. I couldn't.
They put up Biden. All right, so they put up Biden. That's fine, but they redid Trump.
Oh, did they? I don't know that. Tell me.
Trump actually, Trump.
Did they make him more orange?
Horrible. No.
They all look creepy.
Well, I know they do, but he really did. I mean, I'm not saying anything about. Let's just talk about
a political take.
The animatronic take of the original Trump was like wasn't done. This was done by a 3-year-old. It wasn't done by an Imagineer.
So my grandma,
and so the new one actually looks like him. So
yeah.
So I mean, love in as much as it could for being animatronic, it looks like Trump.
I love American history. I love that kind of stuff. So that's like right in my wheelhouse, and I've never been in there.
Yeah,
I will someday. Here promote says Trump looked like Hillary. Let's be honest. I don't know.
Well, that's a fairly good theory that was something different before it was Trump. But we also
I've seen stuff about it.
We also have to admit that the Hall of Presidents between noon and 3 p.m. is a place you go to take a nap.
I've never done it.
Oh,
I will
man,
someday.
Dude.
So my grandma loved the Abe Lincoln in Disneyland. She loved it. So I was in there a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
And I know as a kid, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so real.
It was amazing. Yeah.
But that was before Avatar. Like, let's be real. In 77, I watched Star Wars. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. And now I'm like, that is so corny. But at the time, it was cutting edge. So it's all relative, right?
Right. Well, in Pirates of the Caribbean, when you see Johnny Depp's animatronic versus the other animatronics, it's like you've got this beautifully animated character, and then everything else is just kind of like, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about restreaming a little bit and all that. But
yeah.
we talked about the cut. Let's get to the cut. There was a couple questions in chat, and I want to be respectful of that.
30%. What does YouTube?
It is 30%. It's a 30% cut, right? I mean, maybe I'm crazy, but it's a 30% cut. I think it's 30% across the board on all things YouTube. Well, there was another question. Oh man, I apologize. I planned on scrolling up, but the trolls. I guess the trolls won something, right? But anyway, Earth Central says, "Oh, YouTube is taking more than 30% of my super chats." I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. But there was a question about the shorts. We did talk about this a little bit last week, but I know there's been more. I guess they're just. So I'll get your opinion on this. They're putting together a pool of money they're going to give out. Do you just said you did 50 freaking shorts in 50 days or something like that? So obviously you're all in on short. Yeah. Give me your take on shorts. Why you should do it, why you shouldn't do it, what's the goal of it, whatever your thoughts are on shorts. I've shared with mine, and anybody who's a veteran of my show, they know how I feel about it. And
I think it was a good exercise for me. It was a good way of
I love that you said it that way.
Planning content to be across a message, but also making it specific to particular. So my big project was there was a survey done of the #1 Disney World rides by state you live in. So mine, and Heather helped me through this. Mine was a short, generally about 45 seconds, where it would say, Tennessee's favorite Disney World ride. And, then it would show you 4 answers, and it would whittle it down like, it's not #1, it's not #3. And then it would finally tell you it. And then it would engage you to say, do you agree? And then you would, the theory would be is that the person would go down to the comments and go, I don't believe in that, whatever, and get some engagement. So it was a fairly decent exercise, and I got some eyes on my channel, and I gained some subscribers, probably 50 or 60 off of it. It was a lot of work for what it was, but it also trained me how to edit on Final Cut Pro, which I had, as of April 1st of this year, never done before. So in the big picture, my benefit of doing shorts was I taught myself how to edit.
I love that. I've told the story a million times in 2019, 2018. I did a video every day in December, whatever they call that.
Right.
And
Veda or whatever.
Yeah, something. I don't know. Christmas, whatever it was. And
Vlogmas. That was it.
Hell yeah, Vlogmas. That actually like that.
Yeah.
And I did that for a bunch of reasons. But by December 15th, I had tons. I hate whiny people. Can you tell? I'm the only one who's allowed to whine. Didn't you know that? Anyway, so all these whiny people would come on and say, "Oh, this is so hard. Shut up and just stop. Shut up and stop. Nobody cares. You don't have to tell us. Just do it or don't do it." I mean, Yoda was right. Do or do not. There's no try. Just shut up.
It's not an airport. You don't need to announce your departure.
Yes, exactly. But they got to me so much, Rob. It into the marrow of my I hate whining, that I said, screw you all, I'm going to daily vlog 2019. And I did. And it was hard. I'm not going to pretend like it wasn't hard. There are days that I'm like, I don't want to. But what happened was I found out if or if not, do I like this? Do I know how to edit? January 1st? No. December 1st? Heck no. I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know. I could barely spell edit. I didn't know how to do anything. I didn't know how to do transitions.
One T.
Exactly. It's still hard for me to insert music properly. And that was a couple of years ago. So my point is, and I've got it. I don't think I've got it here. I might have it right here. Hold on. This is, no, darn it. I have a piece of paper that reminds me, I think it might be right here. Hold on. That reminds me of this. And I think it's good to be reminded of this. Darn, it's not the right one. It took MKBHD, Marcus Brownlee, 100 videos to get to his first 100 subscribers. It took all these creators. Mr. Beast took forever. And like there was one of those pages that I talked about today. The question she asked was, I'm only getting about 100 views on each video, and I've already uploaded 33 videos. What thing on the planet that you could do 33 times and you would think you're good at it at the end of 33 times? Like, it's so arrogant. It's so stupid. Like boy, am I going to sound like an old man on a rant right here? The kids
I'm older than
these
you,
days,
so it's okay.
But why would anyone think after 33 anythings you should get an audience? That's insane.
Yeah. Well, I am a baby boomer, and I'm older than you, and I barely make the baby boom generation. But it's, if you want to go ageist on things, there's just a certain expectation that you get, because I didn't have I made a point yesterday on Facebook to announce that August 7th, 1971 was the first computer game I ever played.
I saw that.
Right.
I saw you posted that. What game was that?
It was
Paper, rock, scissors?
There was a tic-tac-toe, but it was on a teletype machine, so there was no computer monitor. So once you tell it, like,
so you just play, and then it tells you, oh, you lost.
And then it would sit there and type the response, right? So you'd walk home with like big yellow things of teletype paper, and so I made it. I posted that just to make a point. I'm old. It was 50 years ago, and it was before Pong and all that stuff. But at the same time, it was like, when people ask me, how do you know so much about computers? It's just that I've been around them for so long, and I don't have any fear of them. Yes. So the key here is being a creator is all about conquering your fear. And the ability of
and being willing to try, being right.
You're going to fall. Do you know Sammy Superstar? Do you know Sammy at all? He's in the same areas that you are. He's a 17-year-old kid that, God love him, he's trying very hard to be a creator, and he even got a television show on Amazon Prime for a while before they yanked it, and not for any reason other than it just wasn't getting the audience, and they said, okay, fine. But I mean, the 17-year-old kid got like 3 episodes.
I mean, they yanked Casey Neistat. I mean, everybody gets yanked.
Right, exactly. But and the point I was making to him is you're young enough that you can run face first in a wall and be fine. You get up, dust yourself off, and keep going again.
Yes.
And it's just the same thing with that guy that was streaming for his church yesterday. There's only 70 people that are going to be watching it. And you know what? You're part of their church. So if something screws up, they're going to love you and continue to support you.
Exactly.
And you come next week.
It's actually endearing when you make mistakes. Right.
Exactly.
There's very little fear of failure. There's fear of judgment that drips off of everybody.
And
and junior high ended a long time ago for most of us. So get over it.
Pete, I know Pete's listening, and I know Pete will agree with this, that you, me, and Pete are of a certain vintage that we don't care anymore what the people think about us.
I mean, I don't know if anyone's going to believe this, but I was definitely the guy that I'm not going to say I thought I was perfect, but I've not had I don't fail for confidence. Let's put it that way.
Right.
And I got to be real. Like I'm making a joke here, but I believe that I am the greatest human ever created, tied with all of the rest of you people. Like, I don't understand. Like, if we want to preach tolerance and everybody's equal, and I believe that 100%, how come we can't also produce a society that's confident? Like, if no one's worse than me, and I definitely agree with that, then doesn't conversely mean no one's better than me too. Like, I have as many advantages. I mean, I'm not talking about like there's people that, I've got, there's stuff that, people have disabilities, but in general, I'm talking very in general. If the attitude that we're teaching our kids, and we should, is that no one's better than anyone else, can't we conversely say that no one's worse either? Like, why isn't that confidence inducing? I've never had trouble with thinking that I was as good as everyone else. That's not me being arrogant. That's me knowing that I have every ability, every advantage, I'm blessed. I live where I live, when I live. I used to be able to run. Now I get tired really fast. But my point is, there's no excuse. Everything that I've achieved, and more importantly, everything I haven't achieved, is because I want to sit on the couch.
Right. You just haven't found your friends yet. You haven't found your audience. I mean, when I was on CompuServe and Prodigy and
the disc, right?
Yeah, right.
Prodigy.
Exactly. And doing, the Usenet, Rec Arts Disney Parks, the people that I first met in the Disney community are, they're about my age. There may be some older, some younger, but
We used to be young.
right, exactly. But the only way you could communicate was through typing, and we would meet once a year together to see each other face to face. And now it's much easier to build that audience and build that friendship. And there's a guy that I know that Filmtopia on YouTube, and he's built, like, just in the first couple months, he's now got 1,200 subscribers on his channel. He sits there 3 or 4 days a week in the middle of the day and talks about his love of Marvel stuff and breaks down Loki or whatever else and stuff like that. He puts in the work and has no apologies.
It is doable.
It just goes.
Most of us are doing this for a hobby. I really believe that if we wanted to do it for a business and we niched it and we're very strategic about it, it's still, I mean, people will still get monetized within 30 days. I see it all the time.
Right.
And I talk about Creator Talk, and I got my kids show on. I mean, I'm having a good time, and of course I want growth, and I'm okay with it happening if and when slow. I don't need this. I don't even want this. I like this.
Right.
I want to grow.
It's fun. Right.
It is. It's not a business.
The thing that I have fun most of is talking to people like you, or who are other creators, and just looking at what they do and going, how about you try this? Oh, cool.
I love that too.
That's the fun part too. I'm not, I'm only blessed that I understood the marketplace 15 years ago and spent $12.95 a month or $12.95 a year for a domain that I happened to get. I actually, fun fact, I owned Disney Blog before the guy that bought the Disney Blog did. So, and people always ask me, are you afraid that Disney might come and
I own a few Disney domains too that only you and a couple other people know about, because it's just not relevant to what I do here. But
they're going to come after Disney Food Blog. They're going to come after a lot of. I
don't know.
No, they're not. No, I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying if they do, I'm probably last in line at this particular point.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Right, but at the same time, I'm creating my content, and I'm storing it in such a way that if YouTube disappears or Disney yanks me down for some reason, I've got everything that I've ever produced in the cloud, and I can pull it back down and post it someplace else, and I'm done. I can get back online in a couple days.
We've got a couple questions in the chat. Let's get to them. If you want to ask a question to me or to Rob, either way, add us in the chat or just put question all in caps and we'll see it.
So you say that you edit on your phone.
I do. KindMaster. So I own Adobe Premiere Pro, and I own the suite.
Right, because we both have the suite.
I haven't used it once. I will learn it. I also have Final Cut Pro because I've got a Mac that I've opened up like 8 times. So I've got to get good at this. Honestly, I got them a season ago, right before the pandemic, because I teach some class. So I run an after school program. We have homeschooling stuff that has expanded greatly during the pandemic, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares on this program, but it is what it is. So one of the classes that I did in the past was junior high kids, how to be an influencer. Why? They asked me to. It was an elective. They knew I had a YouTube channel, and it was just fun. And so then they wanted to learn how to edit. Well, I'm like, well, I edit on my phone. So I went out and got it, and I need to learn it. Obviously, the pandemic saved me from having to learn it because the classes went away. But I use KindMaster because I had to learn how to do it on my phone in the beginning, and I frankly think
troll.
Oh, was there another troll? And I think that it just is so simple. Get rid of that. It's so simple to do on your phone. I don't know why anyone wouldn't. And there's a part of me that just wants to prove to the world that D. Nimmin and his attitude is enough. You can do it. I mean, I love D. Nimmin. By the way, Nick Nimmin's brother, D. Nimmin, he's a YouTube coach that is totally on mobile. And hold on, I got to hit the buttons. I think, hold on. Okay, hold on. I'll just wait. I wanted to see if that was a troll or not too. I think that I like being able to preach and teach and coach and say, you can do it. You don't need all the stuff. You can create with what you have right now. I know that because you're online. You've got this, and not everyone. I can't. There's not every person on the planet can do it, but.
So let's talk about trolls for a moment, because I got a file I'm going to send to you, and I want you to think about uploading it. I run, God, I don't know how many words as a filter.
Obviously I don't have enough in there.
Yeah. So I can send you a nice text file that'll load nice.
Anybody who's actual human in chat, just ignore it. And I'll get rid of them. They've got like 30 different accounts, and it'll take me 30 different buttons to push, and then they'll be gone.
Right.
What do you use for editing? I use KindMaster. You use
Final Cut Pro, and again I do own Adobe Premiere, but at the same time, not everybody has a Mac, and I would say DaVinci Resolve is, if you're entry level and you're on a Mac, you've got the baseline movie editor that comes with it, and you can do a lot of things with it. You can do just your first 100 videos with what's built into the Mac, using Keynote for graphics and why am I spacing out what the movie thing is? That's fun. And so, beyond that, Final Cut Pro is what I use, and that's what I've made my investment in terms of training myself on. And I want to learn the other programs as well, and I will. But, I've spent 30 years working with Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. So a lot of the work I do, I get and I know from that. But I just have a better feeling for Adobe, for Apple's Final Cut Pro. Yeah. So that's what I would use. But at the same time, again, if you're getting into this and you're doing this for the first time, don't spend the money. Teach yourself on what comes with the machine. Download, DaVinci Resolve or some of the free ones, and learn the basic concepts of editing and content
Final
creation.
Cut Pro. Sorry,
Final Cut Pro. And learn how to save your stuff and write a script and learn to save your assets and things like that before you go in and make a commitment on something bigger than that. You can get by with not having to spend any money on it. You can do it on your phone. You can do it whatever is based there. So that's my thing right now. And if at the same time, I think the argument is, in terms of streaming, when Jeff is done with this, he doesn't have to do any editing at all. Well, maybe nothing.
Yeah, right. I think that is a pull to the live streaming that you just can't ignore. I think that a lot of creators are just video, and a lot of creators are just live streamers. I hope to be a little bit of both. I think that they are both viable strategic opportunities. I guess that's the way I want to say it. Yeah. So Final Cut Pro is the one that comes with your smear army. Some loser actually is proud to be part of the smear army. I mean, people want to belong so bad, Rob.
Right.
There are groups of things called, gangs, and they belong because their confidence is so low that if they were just a normal human, people would give a flying flip about them. Losers or loser, just be a normal human, and maybe you'll get the attention that you're looking for.
Well, and Earth Central made a good point, is that the YouTube is moving over. There'll be subscriber only chat.
It's the way to go,
Yeah, it is, because
yeah,
somebody walks in like
I could change that right now. I could, but whatever. I'll let the idiots hit the buttons. What do I care?
Yeah,
I'll take the watch time, I guess. Looking for the positive, but we can still have a good conversation. So I think that the way to go for me on mobile is KindMaster. There's Video Leap 2. You like Final Cut Pro. There's other options, and Adobe Premiere Pro and Final Cut Pro seem to be what all the pros use.
Right.
And I want to learn them for that reason.
And I think that they're moving over to DaVinci. I think that a number of them are moving over. Okay. Yeah, because it's got some ability to do some HDR stuff, and if you want to edit and I think even 8K, DaVinci Resolve can do it pretty well as well too. And it's free-ish in the beginning. I think if you really get serious with it, there's some upgrades and add-ons and things like that. But again, it's whatever you're comfortable with and whatever you have. And a lot of, both the Windows operating system and the Mac operating system has a video editing option within it for free. And I would just sit down and, start editing just a basic cut video and try that first before diving in and spending any money.
Adobe, there is a cost there. I mean, I do think that's, again, I'm going to sound like a jerk. I always say it with the pricing at Disney and stuff. But when I see those messages, hey, what's a very cheap or free one? You get what you get. You get what
you pay for.
If you're serious, you're not asking the question, how do I do it for free? I mean,
I think that there was the question up there is that Adobe Moments of the Magic says Adobe costs too much. Well, yes and no. All right, so I'm paying $55 a month for the Adobe subscription for all the programs, and I use 3 of them every day at least, and I make money off of it. So I get paid for creating sales presentations and other things for consumption by others, and then when I sell the services that I do, I use it all the time to edit slide decks and whatever else, and photos, and so I use it all the time. So I make money off of it. $55 is not a lot. Now, if you're a student, you can get the educational discount. So if you're in anywhere near being a student somewhere, you can get a cheaper version of it. If you just want Photoshop, you can just get a Photoshop a license for it, whatever. You can save some money on it. But at the same time, the nice thing about Final Cut Pro, at least now, unless they change it, is that you buy it and you own it, and you don't have to pay monthly for it. So that was one of the other reasons I went to Final Cut Pro. But again, I can make money off of it. If I can make money off it, it's an investment, not an expense.
Hey, Jonathan. Hey, Jim. Let's see that. So guys, thank you for hanging. I'm not leaving. I just want to say thank you to everybody. People are sticking with this, even though the losers are out tonight. It is what it is. It doesn't bug me at all. If it bugs you, bounce will be back. But losers need a place too. And you rock, by the way, Robbie. Obviously, I know what you're doing. You're leading the way in the conversation, so I can hit all these dang buttons.
I think vamping is the professional term for it.
Vamping, I like that.
Vamping.
Yeah.
Yeah, because and if you're a creator, you're going to have to deal with something.
Let's talk about this. I have a strong opinion about this, but how do you? I mean, I don't mind having this real conversation while I manage this. How do you deal with trolls when you do it? I mean, it is a real thing that we need to be adults about. I mean, there are junior high people of all ages that do this, and it is something that we could lose our channels over comment sections that are ignored. Like if you don't go in and clear that up, YouTube doesn't mess around with that. Now,
they don't.
It's easy to fix, and YouTube's not going to hurt me. And I love the troll that says I've been reported. I mean, really, it's an emotional intelligence thing that when you dive into the cesspool that can be, I mean, the general public and internet, we've got to learn this. I mean,
YouTube has to help the creator more in managing these things more efficiently. And just as I said, so I have a text file, and it's nothing that I created. It was handed to me, and I'll hand it to other people who want it. And it is, I don't know, 1,000, 1,200 words or something like that. It was some incredibly long amount of words, and you cut and paste that into your filters in your setup. And
I've got I don't have that one that's that big. I don't know how big it is, but it's certainly not that big. But we're never going to be ahead of all of it.
But at the same time, we have to lean on YouTube and say, listen, this is what happened, because these idiots that are doing this right now, you can see that they're using special fonts that don't, that show letters, but they won't show letters as whatever else. And that's just code. And so YouTube can build that in as well.
And they will.
Yeah, and they will. And so they'll be able to get around that. But this isn't just us. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Pete hadn't had to deal with that on some of his sports talk things or whatever else. Go Cubs. And
Mouseier says that you can pull up on YouTube on your phone. I'm doing it right here from StreamYard. They just have so many. I mean, like I'm hitting it. Just to double check what I just said, I just went onto my phone, and the ones that I've banned, I've already banned. They just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
YouTube is ever evolving. Amen. So somebody put in their mods, and I've had many conversations. I don't have mods. I had mods for a while. I think that I'm probably in the strong minority on my position on mods, but I think
as you go on, Jeff, I think that you really need to think. First place, you've got friends in the community, and you've got, and let's face it, next Sunday, if you made me a mod, I could sit on my laptop, in my recliner in my living room with my earpiece on, and I do it for Doc Rock. I'm a moderator for him. Now he doesn't have the, he hasn't had this, but if you were, there are a handful of mods that just kind of sit out there. We're part of the community as well, and we're there anyway to chat. So we would be willing to help moderate, and I think that's just part of the Disney community. Is that
Jim is one of the funniest people in our community, and
well, I mean, we as in the certain way as we would help Owen because he's one of us, and we would help, and we help, and we have helped.
He's provided more value to me than I could ever give back, and I've never met him.
Yep.
Until yesterday, I never sent him a penny.
Right.
He's just a giver.
Right. And so people help people. People have helped Pete. People have helped Owen, and that's what we do. And so in this particular case, having a moderator is not going to be the worst thing in the world, and adding more, to your list of your filters isn't going to be the worst thing in the world.
No, I mean I agree. Honestly,
you're trying to be kind of like, well, let's just keep it light, but
it is what it is.
I mean, really, what this really is about, Jeff, it. We don't get to see Pete post enough because of all of this. He's lost in the. How do we know what Pete thinks?
So I just thought of the best, worst strategy ever. Look at this. Like the numbers are going to keep going up if I kept going, right? Like,
oh yeah,
I could cry. You know what I should cry and pretend like there's value in what they're doing. And oh, please stop! You're making me sad. And then it would just go on forever, and I'd have like 80 new people in here, giving me free watch time. It's not the greatest experience.
It's true. Well, let's argue that they've opened a bunch of chat windows up and have some stupid, Linux bot going somehow, some way.
Exactly.
And they'll get locked down.
I think we got to all our questions. Let me look at my the YouTubers Creators channel we talked about, but we'll save it for next week. We've already gone long, honestly, tonight. So let's end it with this.
I'm a chatty person.
I appreciate it. You were very helpful tonight for many reasons. I love the conversation, but also you allowed me to hit more buttons that I normally have to hit. Let's be real. But promote again. Anybody who got here a little late, where can they find you? What are you about for anybody who wasn't here early on?
I'm Rob, and I'm on Disney Blog. Disneyblog.com is the channel is the website that I'm working on right now to finally roll out here. I'm dropping some money on it. Disneyblog.tv is the YouTube channel, and Disney Blog on Twitter is the fun spot that I like to go because Jeff claims he doesn't like Twitter, but he's on it all the time.
I hate Twitter, and I'm on there more and more.
You hate it, but you love it. And somebody in the chat already said that if Disney was going to shut down anybody, they would do Walt Disney World News Tonight first. And you know what? Whoever said that, you're absolutely right. I'm actually having
food bong. I mean, they're
right.
using.
Well, it's a different thing with WDWNT. But
got it. I didn't listen to who you really said.
Yeah,
I got it now. Hey,
but I'm actually making a T-shirt up. I have a whole series of T-shirts that I'm coming out with on Disney stuff, and one of them is "Meet Me at the Brazil Pavilion."
They need to make that, by the way. That and Greece are like the top of my list. But
Greece would be great,
right?
Greece would be great, but
and Hercules was totally underrated.
Right, exactly. There's got to be other things, but yes, thank you for having me on. Disneyblog.tv is really kind of where I'm at right now. Other than that, I'm saving the world from bad radiology during the day. And
do we have bad? There's too much stress in the world. Don't make me think of bad radiology now too.
Yeah, no. I mean, in this world right now, people are finally getting back to their healthcare providers to catch up on stuff they haven't had in a year and a half. and it's been a little overwhelming. There are not enough radiologists in the world, and
I'm gonna have to believe you could tell me anything at all in the radiology world, and I go, oh, okay, I don't know.
right,
I only need you guys when I need you guys, and I'm not.
right.
Anyway, Earth Central, yeah, I saw there's some weather out there. I hope everybody's okay. We don't get a lot of tornadoes in Scottsdale, Arizona, where you can find Rob.
Dust storms.
You guys do. You get like haboobs, which is fun to say.
Haboobs and
Also, probably on the list of words we can't really use.
Haboobs, is questionable. Yes, definitely.
I do love that area of the world, though. I do, and we may be down there. Me and a couple friends for spring training. I mean, not May, we will be. So I'll probably try to have to let you get.
Yeah, it's time to get back to baseball. It really is time to get back to baseball.
Tis the season. So anyway, guys, thank you for hanging tonight. Thank you to Rob for being here. Thank you to even the trolls. I appreciate you guys doing what you do. I mean, if it makes you happy, okay, you be you. I'm gonna keep getting ready to. You guys want to have a fight next Sunday too? Come on by, and I'll hit the button 1,000 times. And if it makes your life better, get a new life. Everybody who's here for actual real reasons, thank you for being here. Appreciate you being a creator. Appreciate you spending a little bit of your time with me here on Sunday night. If you were offended by the losers, I would say, don't be. It's in the wind. It doesn't matter. So just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. I will be on Good Morning Disney Monday through Friday this week. We didn't go all of last week because work and schedules and stuff. And I hear a rumor E2 may be here. If you know who that is, show up. If you don't know who that is, show up and you'll find out. I want to say we got to all the questions. Mary, did I get to all your questions? I know you had one about the editing that we talked about, but did you have another one? And there was another question that I think I got to, but you got maybe a minute or two to put it in there before we say goodnight for the night. Again, Rob is DisneyBlog.tv, yes?
And DisneyBlog.com, yeah.
And please give him some support. He's a good dude. E2D2, that's pretty good. Yeah, maybe E2D2. I'm giving Mary and anybody else another 30 seconds here to put in a question because I just want to make sure I answered them all or let Rob answer them because I think I did.
Mary.
Did I get to all your questions, Mary? Nope, I'm half sleeping. Okay, Eastern time zone. Have a great night, gentlemen. Have a great night to you, Mouse, Ears, and Magic. Thank you, even to the trolls. Thank you to the moderators that I don't have. Thank you to my guest, Rob. Thank you to everyone who's ninja mode or not. I'm going to get 14 messages from people that are going to say, I told you needed mods.
Right.
Pete, I know you're writing it right now. I'm hearing you already. Jim, thank you, buddy. I love everything you put out. Pete, love you. Hope you guys have a great night. Good Morning Disney tomorrow, 9:15 my time, 10:15 Eastern time, other 15s, other places. Rob at DisneyBlog.tv. Say goodnight, Rob.
Good night, Rob.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.